Hey everyone, this is Darkener, and okay, so this is the second boss fight in this LFR. Of course, I'm doing this as a Holy Priest this time, and I just wanted to start off with this, which was the end of this attempt. We actually wiped on this boss. We didn't have people go into the spirit world, and um, at the end, the raid damage just gets incredibly um, out of control. But I wanted to show the healing from that, how it ended up, because uh, Light Spring Renew ended up being my number 2 heal. Of course, the reason why it was so effective partly is because we had a lot of high damage phase in this towards the end, and it was just sending out Light Spring Renews all over the place. You'll notice that it's very close to my number 1 heal. It's not far off from it. 79 Light Spring Renews, almost the same as the 82 Prayer of Mendings, for 16.8% of the healing. And on that fight, right, kinda as when we wiped, I was number 3, still behind these two Resto Shaman. I think the other Resto Shaman we had dropped out. And we got a Discipline Priest. So we'll see how Holy compares in this fight to a Discipline Priest. Alright, so this was our second attempt, and they organized it a lot better. We actually did a lot better, so this time we didn't wipe. Um, so of course there's not as much damage so at the end, so let's fast forward. So Light Spring Renew, um, it's a really good um, healing ability for Holy Priests. I went in and turned off that recount only boss segments because for some reason it wasn't doing it right, and it was just only holding one boss segment and overwriting. I'm not sure if that fixed the problem, but this Holy Paladin uh, at 59,561, almost 60k HPS. Outrageous. Look at this. Light of Dawn, 25.5%. Illuminated Healing. Okay, this is the Holy Priest Mastery, I believe. Doing the top 2 amount of healing. That's kind of that's really good. I mean, if your class has such a clear cut stat that just overpowers your output, then you just stack that. Um, so Beacon is down here at number 6. So Light of Dawn, Illuminated Healing is an absorb too, which kind of screws things up because Discipline Priests are pumping out absorbs, but then you have multiple absorbs on people, so it's not sure how that priority works with that. Arcing Light, I've never seen this before, so this must be new. Number 3, 13 some percent. Holy Shock, there of course before. Holy Radiance. Daybreak, not sure what that is. That's down here at 4.6. Holy Light, 3.6. I want to go over a wipe fight, so I'm just going to, how awesome did they do on that wipe? Who cares? We wiped. Let me fast forward this. Aspect of the fail. We actually had to kick someone because they had a hunter. Aspect of the pack was on. A lot of waiting. It should be called waiting for raid, not looking for a raid. Or waiting forever and ever for raid. What would that be? WFAFR. Waiting forever and ever for raid. Alright, here we go. So, Holy Priest, healing. Light Spring down. I'm in Sanctuary Chakra. Stack fight, so the rest of shamans have their healing rain down. And I, of course, put my Sanctuary down, because that's one of my AoEs. Nothing going on right now, nothing going on. Some tank damage. I love the Divine Insight talent for Holy Priests. It's just awesome. Okay, there I go, Mindbender. I was definitely well down to 70% mana, so it was definitely time to hit that. I need to do a better job of using it religiously. Dropped a new Sanctuary. All these not a whole lot of raid damage at this point. Um, Sanctuary doesn't do big heals, but it's a constant stream of heals, which is good. I switched to Serenity here because I thought, if it's mostly tank damage, why don't I just switch to Serenity and do some single target healing on the tank. Of course, it switches back and forth the damage. Look at this Holy Paladin. Wow. 41, 48 million? Oh, 4.8 million. But more than twice what the next person can do. And, here, Darkener and WoW. WoW is a Discipline Priest, are neck and neck. Let's see, where's my mana at? Here's my mana. I already used Mindbender once, but that's part of my my rotation. So, where is WoW? Exclamation point. Don't see WoW! Exclamation point. Weird things happen with raid frames and recount. Alright, Mindbender is off cooldown. Please hit it. Alright, so I can do a lot better with my mana regen. I'm going to add a sound to my Mindbender cooldown. Here, I hit it now, finally. And it's doing almost 4.5k mana per hit times 10. That's 45,000. And when it's done, you can see Mindbender is almost halfway through its cooldown. Not really almost halfway, but at least a quarter of a way through the cooldown. There is still definitely a mana constrainment issue here. I'd love to be able to heal for more, but it's really just all about mana. At this point, I'm low enough now that I have to wait for regen. Need to put down a new Light Spring. Hit my Mindbender because it was off cooldown. Not used to that. You know, if you're used to your Shadow Fiend, that thing doesn't. Okay, there's Light Spring. Shadow Fiend is a 3-minute cooldown now, which is already going to be hard enough because we're not used to it being 3 minutes. We're used to it being 5 minutes. 4 minutes if we talent into it. Alright, not sure why I hit Divine Him there. It wasn't actually during a huge damage part. It was kind of right after it. So I was late on that. Now there's some damage. What's going on? What's going on? So if this fight is under control pretty well, there isn't a whole lot of raid damage going on. And so Light Spring isn't, as opposed to the last attempt where we weren't doing it right and we had a ton of damage going out. There's Mindbender's off. I do a Mindbender and a Hymn of Hope that time. You can see I'm at 5.15k for the Mindbender. Alright, well that was much better than the previous one. And I was number 2. Check that out, Darkener number 2. Well, actually, to be honest, this Frieza, this Resto Shaman, his group was designated to go into the Spirit Realm, and he posted his recount, which showed him much higher because he couldn't see my heals and I couldn't see his heals, so it was a little bit skewed. But anyway, Holy Paladin, um, you know, pretty much all the high-end guilds are probably going to be just stacking Holy Paladins. I mean, Druids are also good, Resto Druids. There's none in this group. I'm sure if there were, the Resto Druid would be probably beat me as Holy. Resto Druids were around what the Mistweaver was in the previous one. You'll notice that I'm at 22k HPS, so I had the Holy Paladin had 14 million, I had 6.5-ish, 6.6 million. Mistweaver Monk 6.2 million, 4.8 million for this Resto Shaman, 4.1 million for Discipline Priest, 10% versus my almost 16%, so I did 6% more. Discipline right now, honestly, as people start doing raids, and they're going to look at this, they're going to not want to bring Discipline Priests because they're just not showing up well on the meters. Holy is better. So here's my my healing from this fight. Light Spring Renew was my number 4 heal, so it wasn't even really all that out of control, and still 34 Light Spring Renews went out for 643,000, almost 10% of my heals, which is really great. More than Circle of Healing, more than Renew, and I cast more Circle of Healing, or had Circle of Healing on more targets, and I had Renew ticks more than Light Spring. Sanctuary down here at 6.6%. Divine Hymn, because I used it at the wrong moment, only had 9 heals. Prayer Mending number 1. Prayer Mending number 1 because probably my Divine Insight talent. It is a very good throughput talent for Prayer of Mending. It's works now with Prayer of Healing, so if you're doing massive raid healing with Prayer of Healing, your Divine Insight procs, you just hit Prayer of Mending, and it just immediately heals everyone, and the cooldown is reset so you can cast it again, so if there's AoE damage going out, you've got almost a continuous stream of Prayer of Mendings bouncing around. Cascade number 2, 14.5%, and then finally Echo of Light. Here's our mastery. You remember when I was disciplined, Divine Aegis was my number one, which is why with discipline, mastery is a much larger part of your effective healing. I'll call it effective healing. It's kind of unfair to call it effective healing because disciplined priests don't really have effective healing. Their healing is ineffective. I'm being mean. I'm a disciplined priest on live. Um, Full clear DS heroic. Uh, Before it hit the 30% debuff. Um, so I mean, I know what I'm doing, and in this Mists of Pandaria, discipline is not doing very well. Okay, so that is Holy Priest. Definitely a much better story. Definitely competitive with the other healers. It could be that when the developers talk about how Priest is in a good place right now, maybe all they're doing is going in and testing out as Holy Priest. Um, because Priest healing is not in a good place if you're a disciplined healer. Um, it's slightly better if you're a Holy Priest. If you're a Holy Paladin, then you pretty much rule. Totally rule. Alright, so that has been a follow-up to my Discipline raid videos. Now you've seen my Holy Priest raid videos. I'm sure you can pick apart what I did and tell me everything I should have done better. Of course, when I watch it back, I see the same exact things, so um, this is something that everyone's going to be learning when they get into Mists of Pandaria, new talents, new interactions with spells, um, and understanding the fights better to know when to hit Divine Him and when not to hit Divine Him. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this encourages you a little bit more on the for the priests out there. Um, Holy isn't that bad. I've got to say I think Mindbender really helped out with that because my mana regen was much better. I think that Discipline, if I tried using Mindbender, it would have worked out much better than From Darkness Comes Light, which almost trivializes that talent to not being a effective choice, unless it procs more often or heals for more, or I'm not sure. It procs more often, maybe lasts longer, or holds 3 or 4 char. I don't know. I don't know about that one. How to make it work better, but all right. So that's it. I'm finally done. Thanks a lot.